I'm here with Courtney of Burning Witches to talk about Inquisition, out August 22nd on Napalm Records, the band's latest full serving, if you will. Thank you very much for taking the time. It's my first time chatting with you about Burning Witches.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So, before we talk about the record, let's talk a little bit about you and how it was it for you to join the band and the dynamics of it. Was it a smooth process for you? Was it bumpy? Was there anything that if you could have changed, you would have changed? How was the whole overall experience?
Um, no, everything was smooth. We've been friends for years. We met on the road when they were opening up for my previous band, Iron Maidens, and we just kept in touch. Then I did a guest spot on their Hexenhammer record on Maiden Steel. Then we did like a COVID thing together. So it was just like a natural like continuation on. And then before I knew it, here I am a permanent member. But yeah, it was just very, very easy. I mean, we share the same influences, so it was like I was there from day one.
And having a shared influences when it comes to the music that you guys play, does that make things easier from a creative standpoint?
I think so because when we hear like certain, when we're passing back and forth certain riffs and like themes and stuff, you can hear the influences for sure. So it's like I know where their head's at, they know where my head's at, and then before you know it, a whole album's done.
I don't mean to pump your tires, if you will, but I can't believe I'm saying this. This album is perhaps the most guitar focused, guitar driven record that the band has ever released. How much of that is due to you?
Well, obviously, Romana's the main person to put the structures together. I definitely have some influence on the songs. Obviously, all the lead work is me. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's a guitar driven record. I'm not complaining. We're really proud of, what we accomplished, and we can't wait for this thing to be finally released. We've been sitting on it for quite some time because we recorded it really fast. So having to stay quiet about it was really, really tough.
When you guys into the making of this album, having that more guitar focus on an album, considering that the band has always been a very guitar focused band, was that even part of the discussion, or did things happen a little bit more organically?
Yeah, it was definitely organic. We just want to make the best songs we possibly can. And then when we're in the studio, the magic happens, no pun intended. And yeah, we don't really think that way. Like I said, it's just organic, I guess. I don't, even you bringing up that question, I didn't really think of it that way. We just like heavy metal. So we just wanted this record to be everything the fans would expect of a heavy metal album.
Having said that, when you listen to it back, do you see the more focus on the guitar sound, the more versatility on the guitar sound? Like this album has some thrashy riffs, it has some speed metal stuff. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm from Philly. I say a lot, so you'll get that. um, yeah, I don't even know. We just that's what just came out, and listening back, we're headbanging, and like we just know that we have something great here. And yeah, sorry, squirrel. I have ADHD, so I get lost.
You mentioned Romana's name. Having her as your partner in crime when it comes to the guitar playing, how is that dynamic between the two of you?
Yeah, we're a great team. We always view it as like, KK to my Glenn Tipton, or Adrian Smith, and, Dave Murray and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we just get along so well, and yeah, I couldn't ask for more. It just makes it so easy when you have such a great partner to compose with, be on stage with, live day-to-day life on tour with. Like, we're just a really strong, net unit and family that I just love being a part of every second of it.
Is there a song on this record that, from a guitar standpoint, specifically from a guitar standpoint, that maybe threw you a little bit of a curveball, if you will, being from Philly and all?
Yeah, right with baseball going on. No, I know like all my answers are no, no, no. I would only say that the odd one for me was High Priestess of the Night because that mid tempo that the band has never done before. So I'm glad a track like that is on the record, just to spice things up a bit. And yeah, other than that, Everything's just thrashing and in your face. And then you have, the quintessential ballad on there that I'm really proud of. And yeah, it's just a great album all around. A little
It,
bit of
it
everything.
it is a great album all around with a lot of really fun songs, really catchy tunes. Also, having Laura as a vocalist definitely helps. I mean, it's not going to make things more difficult. She has an incredible range, which is on full display throughout this entire album. When you're composing, do you think of her as something that needs to be taken in consideration, considering her range, considering her vocals?
Yeah, I mean, we keep everyone in mind because you're only as strong as you got to work together to make the best music you can. So we always have each other's back when we're in the studio and stuff. And yeah, her vocals are just wow on this album. Like I kind of felt bad for her in the studio having to hit all those highs every 5 seconds, but she's just amazing at her craft and such a great vocalist. And yeah, I just happened to be in a band with her.
Do you have a favorite Burning Witches song to play live?
Ooh, that's a tough one. For me right now, Spell the Skull off the new record. I love the Hex and Hammer, Lucid Nightmare. I mean, I think it's harder to pick one I don't enjoy playing live, which is another good sign that you're like in the band you're meant to be, that you just love everything.
Do you change or tweak anything from what the recording was in the studio to what it is live, just to kind of give you a little bit of creative freedom on the spot?
Oh, definitely. All the lead work, I'm in there tweaking something. And then even on when I came in, I actually redid the leads on 3 songs off The Dark Tower. I believe it's Unleash the Beast, World on Fire, and Ballad Tomorrow. So that was just like the start of me coming in with, the CC twang on everything. But live, just I spent 14 years in a tribute band. Even when I was in the Iron Maidens with the Adrian stuff I was playing, I would tweak notes here and there just to kind of give it more of my feel. And I know people hate that, but I'm not Adrian Smith. I'm not the previous, members of Burning Witches. I need to be myself. So I keep the main structures of things that the fans want. But anywhere I feel like, oh, I can, put my spin on it, I go ahead and I have the freedom to do that, which is also a blessing. So
You obviously had guitar players that influenced you to pick up the guitar. Now, being a guitar player in a band like Burning Witches, I'm sure you're influencing other people to pick up a guitar. Do you think about that and the much broader sense of what it means to be in a band like Burning Witches?
yeah, it's something cool because me being a kid growing up when I first started playing, I would idolize, all these players and go to the live shows as much as I could and just, sit there in awe. And now, and like we see, little kids, and it doesn't just have to be little kids coming through the shows and coming up and thanking you for the inspiration stuff. It kind of really takes you back because, I didn't start playing guitar to, I mean, idolize is a really strong word to use. I apologize. Or just have someone come up and thank me for the passion and the love for what I do. It's just really eye-opening and even more inspiring for me to keep going because it feels like, what, you are doing something right. And it's really cool.
You mentioned inspiring you to keep going. Did you ever at any point in time thought about that this was it and there's no hope for keep going?
No, it's just more that, touring is really, really tough. I mean, it's not for everyone. I always say if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. But sometimes you need those little sparks like that, like energy from fans and stuff to, just keep the train, rolling on the tracks. Because the lack of sleep and never knowing when you're going to see home again, that kind of thing. And, it can get really dark on the road sometimes when it comes to, the mental side of things and just the, being exhausted. So like any kind of energy boost or, morale boost, goes a long way.
Do you doodle on the guitar when you're on tour or
Oh
not at
yeah.
all?
Some a lot of it is, it's obviously the travel, the vans or the shuttles and the hotel room. So anytime like we have some time off before going on stage, it's either warming up and or doodling around. We're always writing regardless if the album is done. We probably have enough material to release another 2 albums right now. So yeah, it's like creativity never stops, and just constantly have a guitar in my hands.
Do you just fool around, or is there like a riff that it's your go-to when it's time for more of a Zen moment?
Oh, man, I always play a lot of King Diamond in the warm up.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. What's your favorite King Diamond song?
I mean, I remember the first one I ever learned was "Mother's Getting Weaker," and I was just always obsessed with that riff and the dance, dance. That's definitely a warm up one for me. I'll always warm up with Merciful Fate's side, like a Dangerous Meeting or Come to the Sabbath. There's just anything. I just always catch myself just jamming. You know, it quiets the mind because my mind's always going.
I'm assuming by this that you're a King Diamond fan. I mean, it would be awkward if you weren't and you're doodling King Diamond songs. Andy, being an incredible guitar player, was he one of those influences for you?
Oh, definitely, especially like his Miami bar work. Actually, I was hanging out with him a couple of weeks ago in Germany. He was just like, oh, Andy. But yeah, just his playing. I mean, obviously his riff writing. He's just the total package. Um, so it's yeah, definitely latch on to a lot of his style. And then from him, like, and then obviously like the usual people, Adrian Smith, Glenn Tipton, Kirk Hammett's the reason I started playing guitar. And then the list goes on and on. I'm a huge John Sykes fan. And you just take all these influences and then mold your own, style.
Wow, that's a lot of great guitar players you just you just listed there. If you were doing an audition for either King Diamond or Iron Maiden, what song, any song, what song would you play to audition your skills?
That'd be really nice to audition for either one of those. I don't.
Dream big. I mean, you never
I
know.
actually want. I would just keep playing until they tell me to stop. I would just do the whole discography. That's enough. That's enough, Miss Cox. That's enough. But wait, more.
I can still do this other one that I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
3 hours later, everybody's passed out and you're still like going.
So here's the one you've never played live. Listen to this.
I know some deep cuts as well. I can do some deep cuts.
Yes, it's all about the
Yeah.
deep cut.
Speaking of playing live, you guys are going to be on tour. You're going to be on the road in the US, starting late August, going into September. Another US headlining tour run. How are these for you? Like you said before, being on the road is not always easy, but I'm assuming you enjoy these.
Yeah, especially anytime I get to go back to the States, because when I joined the band, I moved from the States to Germany. So that's complete culture shock. So every time we get to go back to the States, I'm like, yes, English, wah wah, everything I grew up with. So it's kind of, nostalgia of returning home, but for me. But yeah, there's East Coast is not really that difficult. It's usually when we're on the West Coast, the drives are gnarly. But rinse and repeat. We're road warriors, so.
I'm still waiting for the time you guys come to Toronto and play some Canadian shows.
No, I've heard maybe that there are talks of Canada, so I haven't been to Canada in a long time.
I haven't seen the band yet because every time you guys come to the US or playing in North America, you're playing like Mexico, South America, US, but never Canada. The Frozen North has not seen the Burning Witches yet, so I'm hoping that that changes at some point in time.
Yeah, we'd love to be there, but it's through our booking agents. We go where they tell us to go, so
I'm gonna
it's
start
not
my
not
very own.
personal that a lot of people think.
No, no, no. I'm gonna replace the come to Brazil with come to Toronto, and we need to get that shit trending.
Yes. Hashtag.
Hashtag come to Toronto. Hashtag come to Toronto. Now, I had no idea that you relocated for the job to Germany. Wow, that must have been a tough decision.
I literally decided within a week because I'm like,
Oh.
do this, I have to be 100% full in. And I know the band's out of Switzerland, but I ended up in Germany because my father's side of the family's from Germany, so it's kind of like going back to the roots and that kind of thing. Out here trying to find distant members from the family and that kind of stuff. That keeps me occupied. Um, yeah, it was tough, but yeah, me, like I just, with my brain, I just decide things and just do. because if I think twice, I won't do it. I'll talk myself out of it. And I'm out here enjoying my time
Wow, that's incredible. Do you speak German now or not
a little
really?
bit, a little bit. It's still terrible, but it's a hard language. And then you factor in, the rest of the band being Swiss German. That's a whole different German. Schweizer Deutsch, no. So it's a long process, but I'm on my way.
Wow, that is a lot of changes. Joining a band, moving to another country, to another continent. I applaud you for taking those. I wouldn't call it risk, but to take those challenges head on, because a lot of people probably would have taken the easier road out and not do it, and then 20 years from now, sitting on a porch somewhere in South Philly, wondering how my life could have been so much different.
Yeah, with my cheesesteak
Yeah.
and my shotgun under a blanket,
I was gonna say
back in
watching
my
reruns
day.
of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but cheesesteak is that works too. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like that's fine. Watching some Eagles games or some Phillies games and
Oh yeah,
wondering.
I mean that's all you do.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, is there anything else to do in Philly? Because I don't think there is much to do.
Then you have all the historical stuff, but
Well, you could always ride up those stairs
small
like
town,
Rocky did.
small town mentality where I'm from. So little factory town outside the city. So
I've been to Philly a couple of times. It's a great city. Definitely a rough city. You don't want to mess around with people from Philly, but a fun city nevertheless. And I've had a great time there. And there's quite a bit to do, but I'm sure it's not the same as living in Germany and touring in Europe. I'm sure for you it's completely different from touring in North America.
yeah, because I mean even just the public transport system here, like I can just jump on a train and literally go anywhere. So, and the scenery, changes, 20 minutes down the road. It's just great and seeing, castles and this and that. And it's just amazing.
Well, you're living your best life and and making absolutely amazing music. I really enjoy this new Burning Witches record. Like I said earlier on, I mean I didn't think the band could release an album that was even more guitar focused than the previous record because they've always been the guitar sound has always been like a cornerstone of what Burning Witches is about. But I think you add a different element to this record that is noticeable and it makes the sound still as open as it always was, but at the same time, a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, a little bit more punchy, just like with a big Philly attitude in it.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. I did something right.
Oh, you definitely did. You definitely did. You definitely did. And your impact on the album is undeniable. I think you and Romana together have such a great chemistry that really comes across, and not only in the songwriting, but it comes across in the performance of these tracks. Because I see so much old school stuff of you two going back and forth. It's just a great dynamic, and it makes the album come alive, sung in and sung out. And then Laura does the rest.
Yeah. Well,
Not to take
and
anything away
Lala and
from
Jay too, they're in there.
Yeah, yeah. Not to take
Everyone.
anything away from the rest of the girls, but like, let's face the facts. Like, you guys are the cornerstones of the sound of the band and what the band is. Even though I really think overall, as a team, you guys did a phenomenal job on this album. Really great record.
Thank you very much.
Courtney, thank you very much for your time. This was an absolute pleasure. It's always nice to have a different witch to talk to because normally I talk to Laura all the time. So this is definitely a change. And I really enjoy talking to you. And once again, enjoy the tour coming up in August, September across the US. I'm going to have the tour dates in the description of the video, plus the album pre-order link so people can go check all of that shit out and come and see you girls on the road. And I hope to see you guys at some point in time, if not in North America, maybe in Europe. I traveled to Europe quite a bit, so maybe I'll see you guys at a festival or something.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be, well, yeah, I'm not in Philly anymore. I was going to say, see you up there, but no, we'll get to connect.
Eventually,
Yeah.
eventually. So, all right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.